Hey, welcome to Digging Into the Bible. My name is Jim Barnard. This is a production of Tiller Coaching. All right, well, it's day 51. Thank you for joining me. We are into Matthew chapter 19 now. And, today we see the Pharisees. Well, go figure. They are coming after Jesus again. And they just don't seem to get it. Like, they're really trying to trick Jesus. And don't you just want to tell them the same thing that you tell the tricks rabbit? Silly Pharisees, tricks are for kids. Like, stop it. Well, it's not going to work as always. And just like several other sections in Matthew, there's several callbacks. I'm not going to verbalize them today. I'll have them on the video here at the bottom because Jesus is going back to the Old Testament, and so we'll see that a few times here. So with that, let's go ahead and dig into Matthew chapter 19, starting at verse 1. Now when Jesus had finished these sayings, he went away from Galilee and entered the region of Judea beyond the Jordan. And large crowds followed him, and he healed them there. And Pharisees came up to him and tested him by asking, "Is it lawful to divorce one's wife for any cause?" He answered, "Have you not read that he who created them from the beginning made them male and female, and said, therefore a man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. So they are no longer two, but one flesh. What therefore God has joined together, let not man separate." They said to him, "Why then did Moses command one to give a certificate of divorce and to send her away?" He said to them, "Because of your hardness of heart, Moses allowed you to divorce your wives. But from the beginning it was not so. And I say to you, whoever divorces his wife except for sexual immorality and marries another commits adultery." The disciples said to him, "If such is the case of a man with his wife, is it better to not marry?" But he said to them, "Not everyone can receive this saying, but only those to whom it is given. For there are eunuchs who have been so from birth, and there are eunuchs who have been made eunuchs by men, and there are eunuchs who have made themselves eunuchs for the sake of the kingdom of heaven. Let the one who is able to receive this, receive it." All right, so there's so much there. Obviously, this tricky question of, is it lawful to divorce one's wife for any cause? You come at Jesus with that question. I almost expect Jesus to just say, you can go ask Caesar, what's legal, because, he's in charge of that. Obviously, they're wanting to trap him into Jewish law, not necessarily governmental law. But I think Jesus is really trying to be respectful and staunch here at the same time. So he allows divorce because of our hard-heartedness and just the way that we are, okay, if you're going to do it, do it. It's not best. I think the narrative of marriage really gets down to the narrative of sexuality. And I believe that there's a true narrative of every time you have a sexual partner, that there's a union that happens. Literally the two become one in that action. And it's like you marry a new gal every night, if that's what you're into. I'm not really trying to pass judgment on that. I don't think it's best. I will counsel guys that really struggle with lust and, act out in a multitude of different ways. And one of the things that just seems apparent to me is that we want our love life to be like Velcro. Okay, so follow me here. So we want to attach with a girl, and that's real nice. It's real nice. I'm not going to take anything away from that. But we want the break to be clean. We can attach and separate and attach and separate countless times. And that's the magic of Velcro. I just don't think when it comes to sexuality, work that way. I think it's much more like tape. You put two pieces of tape together, it's really hard to separate them cleanly, at least. And so you separate them. Well, some of this tape is over here and some of this tape is over there. There's this stuckness that happens when we partake of sex. There's this marriage thing, and so you're trying to separate the two that have become one. It's just not clean. So that's my take on it. I'd love to hear your take on it, but I love where Jesus goes next. This narrative about eunuchs. How the disciples say, well, is it just better not to marry? And there's kind of an argument for that. If you look at 1 Corinthians chapter 7, Paul is talking about, if you're going to burn down, get married. At least have that sexual union and satisfaction in the right context. But if you can avoid it, if you can not burn down, man, don't get married, because there's so much freedom in being single, freedom to pursue the things that God's calling you to. And that, awesome. But Jesus is going that same route by having this eunuch talk, okay? And I don't think when he says, there's eunuchs that have been so from birth and eunuchs that have been so from men, I think those are physical eunuchs. The third example, I'm not convinced he's talking about literal eunuchs. And forgive me, I have not explained this at all. That's not kosher to me. A eunuch is a castrated male. So, okay, so, ouch. I don't think he's talking about a literal castrated when it's for the sake of the kingdom of heaven. I think he's talking about someone who has decided to truly choose a celibate life and to put away lust, to keep their eyes focused on Jesus and to follow him. I know that that's not easy. I'm not even going to begin to say oh yeah, just do it. It's fine. It's good. You got this. It's not that simple. But I think with support, I think with coaching, I think with desire, I think it's possible to understand that the things of lust, it's not a true need. I could go on for a lot longer. I've way overshot my time, but I think I said most of the things that I wanted to on this section. I hope that you are in a spot right now where you're not feeling the depravity of that tape issue. And if you are, man, there's grace for you. And man, I just encourage you to speak up about it and share that with someone. So yeah, let's just go ahead and call it there. I'm so over time. Thanks for sticking in there. Appreciate you. I'll see you tomorrow as we continue on with Matthew 19.